Hi, you guys. It's MJ from Alta Love. How are you? I actually just did a share on Unlisted on the full moon energies coming up in a couple of days. We're in the energy portal now of full moon manifestation, Beltane, spring. This is the kind of big turnaround month of the year ultimately. Um, and and you could relate it to just the change of seasons. And I would say all over the northern hemisphere, this has been like the slowest moving out of winter energy. So this has been like the slowest spring that I've ever experienced. And weirdly, we're accelerating right into our hi Sherry D. I just started. We're accelerating into the summer season with a lot of powerful energy. And I want to talk about unplug because I've got the retreat, the yoga and paragliding retreat coming up at the end of June, June 19th to 23rd. And I suppose for a lot of us, certainly that gravitate to channels like this, that we are already unplugged. A lot of us have been unplugged from mainstream media sources for a long time. And it's funny all the different feedback you get from people like, how do you know what's going on in the world? Like, we just do because you know people talk about it, and also we're all connected, so there's an awareness energetically of things that are going on at the same time. For most of us, the reason that we are guided to unplug from mainstream media is that we were aware that it was an agenda, it was a propagated story that would basically keep us all enslaved to its story, right? And so, not to mention the fact that watching fearful media programming is actually quite destructive and painful for our bodies, and any of us who are empathic and compassionate, watching war cycles, watching animal and human violence is just ridiculously painful for the being. So we disengage, we unplug. And I've been unplugged from mainstream media for about 10 years. And like I kind of weaned myself off of it. So first, stop watching TV. I had already stopped buying kind of trash mags and was less and less interested in even reading or listening to the radio. Radio is essentially the same propaganda as is the mainstream news sources and the main TV channels. Oh, Wicked! I unplugged a few months ago. That's awesome, Sherry D. So, and like I straight up have tangible evidentiary support around unplugging where I've had clients who were like feeling like they're going down in depression, and like within days, I'm talking like 3 days, they unplug and like they're like, oh my God, there seems to be happier people coming into my store. There seem to be, right? And so these people would have almost instantaneous perspective shifts when they weren't being bombarded by fearful programming every single day. So usually if it seems like a big deal, I'll usually work with people and say, well, just try not watching it like in the morning. So for example, a lot of people might just turn the news on every morning. So I try to challenge people's uh, routine by saying, watch something different or don't watch anything at all. Put music on, sit and meditate, tune into yourself, tune into the truth of you, and get yourself ready for the day so that you can be a positive impact, an enlightening impact. And anyone who is unplugged, you'll know, like you just get feedback off of any important news stories or anything going on in your reality, you will get the source. So um but there again, we have to be able to, as a population, take responsibility for the fact that that media source has been programming our consciousness to act out fear, act out drama, act out codependency, right? It's not an empowering propagated media source. It's not like that media that's telling us to buy stuff is also uplifting us. That media source is actually keeping us in these enslavement patterns, these unworthiness patterns. Now, being a long time unplugged human, what I'm increasingly aware of as I've headed into this online entrepreneurship world is, of course, our devices, our phones, our media technology, and how that is now becoming like the next wave of discernment around unplugging. So I vocalize this. I think sometimes people might think like I'm joking or not. Hi, Bill. How are you, my friend? So, um, yeah, yeah, I think people maybe don't get like the reality for me is that I don't actually engage with much external information at all other than my like reality, and then I broadcast. Obviously, hi guys, I'm on YouTube right now. Oh, good to hear it, Belle. So I'm on YouTube. I share on Instagram and I check Facebook once a day. I check my business page. I'm no longer on my public profile, but I check my business page, which I'm intending to keep up as long as I intuitively am guided to do so. So Facebook, I just check the once a day, but otherwise, no more scrolling for me. Thank God. And I gotta say, oh my gosh, I feel so much better for not being on Facebook. And then even Insta, I'm a bit like, meh, I'm bored of it. I'm not too thrilled about being there. And so I just broadcast. I usually am guided to share maybe one story and one post on Instagram, but I'm dropping into the truth of my heart space, which I'm like, all the manifestation that we could ever possibly need or desire is right there in our heart. Anything that and I still am acting out those programs and those patterns, but anything where we're like, hey, I'm going to have to do this because the world told me to, or I'm going to have to, advertising and marketing, I find is just such a vampiric sham. It's not, it's I'll continue to noodle with these, but like I just don't align with it. Ah, of course, Bill. Never even had a Facebook account. And this is where I've headed into this online world stuff in starting up freelance or starting continuing a freelance career, and people being like, you have to do this and you have to do that, and I'm not so sure anymore. I'm somebody who'll be like, just listen to yourself. Listen to, and I'm somebody who it's taken me these 37 years of lifetime on this planet to actually give myself permission to just listen to myself in my loving heart. Like, I love humanity and I love creatures and I love this planet and I love this cosmos and I have lots of love. And it's taken me a long time with this loving heart to heal myself and just come to a loving, compassionate place with myself and not be hating on myself. So you come into these places of love for the self, and you realize that like the majority of the world's function in as far as like our assumptions and our like trying to get ahead and trying to be important or whatever, like none of that is true. That is, it's just an extension of our disempowerment, right? So unplugging, I would say, and it's interesting to me, right? Hi, Clear, how are you, my friend? So unplugging is interesting to me as well because in this whole law of attraction, although Abraham Hicks talks about it, and I'm sure people talk about it, but interestingly to me, not enough people talk about it, I'd say. Like, not enough people talk about the vampiric and parasitic sort of energetic belt of marketing and advertising. And I know why, because it's heavily rooted in in the economic system. And then it's heavily rooted in people's psyche, and thus so many people are employed by ad agencies and marketing agencies. And so what do you do? What do you do when we're not marketing products anymore? It's like, holy shit, this is where we have to be able to creatively navigate our exit from the matrix and our exit from that which is untrue. So psychologically manipulating the masses to buy stuff isn't where it's at. For me personally with ultra love, it's like, let's break it down and let's keep breaking it down and let's keep breaking it down until we're back into our heart and there's a clear exchange, rather than like us playing games with each other to try to survive on this planet, right? So unplug, and then what's like the actual title here? Unplug. I don't remember what the title is, but I know that I want to talk about Unplug because Unplug for Freedom, which is the yoga and paragliding retreat, that my intention there is to have our phones like put aside for the majority of the day, if not the whole 5 days, or 4 nights and sort of 5 days, right? And going back to like not enough people really talk about the unplugging piece is that it's because our economic chains are intertwined in that propagated paradigm. So we often don't talk about the real shit that can actually help people, because if you really fucking hone in and help people, then it breaks down the economy, which means you're not going to keep buying my products over and over again. It's like clients. You're not going to keep buying sessions over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because eventually you're going to be well. So you can see that like the economy of debt-based economy, which is based on human exploitation, that economy falls apart in essence when we're in integrity and in alignment, because you're not there to steal from people. Because really, the capitalist system is based in exploitation, i.e., stealing people's life force, stealing their energy, so that you can get ahead, so that you can take more based on their enslavement. So in this new paradigm, no one's a slave and no one's a master. Everyone's just masterful and in service to one another. So when you don't need the money to survive, you don't need to manipulate people, and then we can actually be honest and look after one another, right? Hey, Mike, how are you? Sherry, so you guys all like our friends. Bill, Bill, you're familiar to me just from, I think, different social sites, maybe Instagram, I'm not sure. Um, it's so nice to see all of you here today, for sure. So this is part of the reason I'm quite a fan of even the courses that I've been guided to write and produce. It's that this is all tangible. Like, unlike so it can take a little while to proper anchor in a mindfulness or meditation practice or yoga practice, things like unplug, it's like direct action. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked by Mike's. Thank you guys. I feel great tonight. I had my heart chakra wide open today. Such tremendous healing event. That makes my heart feel like nice and open. No Instagram either, Bill. Okay. I feel like there's a, although you're Bill H, I'm making an assumption of Bill Hicks, but I'm like, Bill Hicks is the comedian, but I'm sure I have a friend, Bill Hicks, on Instagram and Facebook, but you're not on Facebook and Instagram, so it's clearly someone or something else. It's all good, right? Yeah, so I think we're living in these times where like direct action or tangible practical action, not just like sit and meditate and da-da, although we know how awesome that is. So unplug is one of those, like, you can literally just stop watching TV and then you're going to feel different. Like, you don't even realize when we're daily ingesting external propaganda programming, that's why we're all unconsciously acting out all this crazy bullshit. Is like, it's in us, it's in our cells. We've been programmed to it. And like, the only way we can own or like transform it is by owning it. And that's the pain of transformation, y'all, is like, we especially in this generation and moving forward, we ourselves in our beingness can actually take responsibility for even our own victimhood and like crazy enslavement shit and like abuse and all of that. Like, I can either keep giving power to people who lied to me and like be like or I can be like, well, guess what, I chose that experience for my growth, for my learning. And no, it doesn't mean I have to like make excuses for people's shitty behavior, but that's their shit, isn't it? But for me, I can actually integrate the experience as my own choosing of empowerment, right? Woo! Mike, yeah, yeah, my friend. I do love this, and I'm getting this increasingly. So there's often a transition when because I've been working with people on their spiritual awakening for years now. So it's like what I notice often is the case that when we first start like tapping our spiritual essence or whatever. Like we have all the breakdown and awakenings and it's weird and we can often be really like really angry for a while. But oftentimes people have this thing of like no one else to talk to, or like I'm all alone, or the rest of the world is so closed and so not awake and blah, 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 blah. And then I noticed this as well, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, was like I was still working and da 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 and transforming my ideology and transforming my beliefs. And I suddenly was like, you know what? I believe that everyone's awake and I believe that everyone's on a path and I believe that everyone understands me and blah, 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 blah. And I swear to God, straight up, I stopped bumping into people who didn't align, and or the disparity of vibrational reality was so unique and different that I was just able to hold space rather than like, I don't know, like even it's not like even all my friends talk like on about this stuff. We just have a resonance connection and it's support, right? It's just supporting the uniqueness that we are. Not all of my friends are like spiritual, but there again, this is what we talk about. It's like, what does that even mean? Because in our old 3D paradigm, spiritual means like I wear robes and like probably talk like this and like bow and like don't be sexy and don't wear makeup. That's like, I don't know. I'm taking the piss a little bit, but like we have these ideas and now we're like we're evolving beyond the compartmentalization of a spiritual constructed reality and stepping into our authenticity, which means where it's like we're blowing the 3D world wide open because it's en masse. We're all like, oh yeah, that's an illusion of our own creation, so we should focus on creating a better illusion. That's pretty much like what's going down, right? Is like we're going, scary darkness illusion, born of our own fear and separation. And then, yeah, and then integrate, share, and be like, can we drop it? Can we let it go? Can we tell new stories? And be like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about humanity shifting and evolving. Let's talk about everything that we talk about here, which is what we're doing. The band or ego, lol. This is really Revel. Hey Revel, by the way. Do you like eagles? For some reason this is just popping out at me so hardcore, and I feel like I'm gonna have to look at the totem of the eagle because it's really popping out to me. And I feel like that could actually be like a relevant thing for a few of us here. There might be eagle energy happening. So we could look up the totem of eagle. Clearly, I'm getting just intuitive guidance around it as far as the eagle is like the power. And yeah. Ah, and of course, there's like a Native American connection, right? Equals lucky. Um, Mum Blue Jay. Interesting. Hi, Zeus. Bye, Rebel. AA. Oh, the irony. Well, and it's like everywhere, isn't it? It's I'm getting increasingly bombarded, and like you guys know what I'm like. I have so much love, and for some reason I'm getting increasingly triggered by Mind Valley ads, and I'm finding them really like, I don't know. I don't know. Because any of us know it's like we don't want to have those like walls or blocks or like, but there again, it's worth noodling, right? Because it's like, what is it? Now that I'm aware that intuition, this is where we have to become uber duper discerning around intuition guidance and like the other resistance, egoic fear, blah blah blah. In fairness, y'all, the more of us that are really digging on the energies here, I would say more often than not it's our intuition. But because we've been in people pleasing patterns for so damn long, we're like, our intuitive guidance can actually make us feel bad because the truth is that someone's lying, or someone's actually a bit dangerous, or someone is actually manipulating you, or somebody is lying to you because they're not clear. And then I'm having to own up to the fact, I'm like, oh, my brothers and sisters, humanity is fucked. As in, we're not fucked. We can totally get over all this stuff. But as long as people are totally rooted in the illusion of the material world, that's the convoluted distortion, layer upon layer upon layer, that a lot of humanity is still holding, which is where we're going to see continue to see mass exodus. So like people leaving the earth realm, and then also new structures and new codes being born into the world, and then those of us anchoring the light are only going to continue to expand our light. So it's not like we're going back to the dark ages, we're moving into the lightness, right? Oh, thank you, Sherry. I don't even need to check it myself. That's enough of the awareness that I can sense from the eagles, is like it's just a time for us to be really expanded and really see from that higher perspective, which I think we do. Like I actually believe that those of us here, we are the expanded perspective, and we've been the expanded perspective. Like we've always been vibrating this juice, we've always been in love and wanted to shine light and hurt when we see pain and violence, and wanting people to be honest and vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. And so it's just an ushering, that's all. We're as Bentinho, we used to say, or used to, because I don't listen to him and anyone for that matter, but he would say something like ushering consciousness, and like shepherding consciousness, something like that. What up, Mike? How are you, Spirit Spectra? Hey, Spirit Spectra. I feel like I saw one of your Insta posts today of your lovely um fella, although I could be wrong. I'm not, sometimes these names cross over, but sometimes they don't. And so I'm like, is that you? Like Bill. Like Bill's clearly not the Bill Hicks from my Instagram account, because he's not on Instagram. But this is why I love like a little bit of different areas. So I guess I'll want to close it there actually, and just say like, come to France. Come unplug with me, put our phones away. We'll do yoga, we'll enjoy mountain views, some pool, some sauna, and then flying. We'll do some tandem paragliding together. It's only 5 days, and I've dropped the price almost in half. So I think it's a reasonable price. If some of you are flying from further afield though, and would definitely appreciate a lower retreat price, I might be able to sort you out depending on the bookings, you guys. So feel free, please, please, please get in touch. Um, yeah, Spirit Spectre. I posted my first short little video today. Woo! Oh, well done, you. I know it's a huge deal. I've got another really, really good friend and client who's getting ready to do more live shares and put herself out there more. And it's such an effing like, whoa! And then it just gets easier and easier, right? In Missouri. I want to say, like, is that Kansas and that area? Is Missouri in the south of America? I'm quite bad with geography, you guys. Like, straight up, I can put my hands up to that. Yay, congrats, Sherry D. And I gotta say, like, well done to this collective. Well done to y'all. Oh, right. Oh my God, I got it. Next to Kansas. Holy shazbot. Wasn't expecting that, but there it goes. If you've driven through America a few times, you should know some of the states, right? So clearly I do. Missouri. Yeah, it's all there in the language, isn't it? So yeah, I basically am wanting to just give all of you guys like a round of applause for just loving each other and me. Like, I appreciate you for the love that you share with me. Um, ooh, Michigan. So I spent a lot of time in Michigan. I had family who lived in Troy, Michigan. And I vividly remember my mom it was just me and my mom in a car. Hey, Alf, how are you? It was just mom and I in a car. We were driving back to Ontario. And I just remember my mom going, honey, lock your doors. And as a kid, I can remember, like, i.e., we took a turn off the freeway somewhere and ended up in just a neighborhood of Detroit where my mama did not feel safe. And it was obvious to me when I was little that listen to mom. And like I could feel as a kid, that's again the visceral awareness of our energy connection, right? Is like I have that memory of a kid feeling the shift of energy from highway into like neighborhood, mom's energy shifting, and just the veil, just the like going into this slightly less than feeling safe neighborhood. I believe that we are safe. At the same time, that's a mom's instinct to probably just, yeah, have been in Southwest Michigan my whole life, except when I went to college in East Lansing. That rings a bell to me as well. Might have been areas that we drove through, upstate New York at the moment. Oh, hi, you guys. Elf. For some reason, again, I'm pretty sure we're connected on Insta, aren't we, Elf? And you really remind me of like a British, it's bizarre. And obviously, yes, you're there in sleeping in a car. Oh, my love, my friend. I feel you to be very British. It's really bizarre to me. I'm like, you remind me of people I've met along my journey, but here in the UK, which is just bizarre. But that's how it goes with familiarity. A lot of you guys are not really, a lot of us are sort of dispersed in different parts of the world, but it doesn't mean there isn't a connection. It doesn't mean there isn't a hardcore like familiarity and all this, right? So, and then I guess another addition here is, and it connects to the money piece, right? Because as creators, when we create, that's our potential for having valuable services that are unique to us to exchange with one another, right? So, unplugging is also a huge piece in our ability to reconnect to our creativity, because that's all unique. Um, so we have this, yeah, unique essence, which if we're just plugged into mainstream matrix media, then we're just on a loop acting out that program, versus unplug from the media and like get to know yourself, play around, try different things, try new hobbies, maybe higher learning, maybe coaching, maybe something, and then you tune into this kind of like creativity from within. And I okay, bye bye Zeus. um and then you let that flow out, you let that creativity flow out. Here's the thing with this kind of energy, sometimes when I get it coming up in my feed, is that I'm like a really open-hearted individual, and I'm not particularly concerned about being right or wrong. But energies of people coming into this chat trying to prove something or tell me that they're right, which makes me wrong, doesn't feel good to me. I'm not talking about whether what shape the earth is, and I'm not particularly concerned because, hi, here we are. Does my interaction with you really depend on me proving the shape of the earth? Not really. Who gives a flying fuck what shape the earth is? Let's be honest, because we're here and our experience is here now. Us debating about the rightnesses and the wrongnesses of an infinite fucking cosmos doesn't necessarily make a goddamn bit of difference in our ability to be love and our ability to be well with one another. So, that whole debate, I'm just over it. I don't care. Think what you want to think about the earth. As if it's making you joyful, let yourself be joyful. Honestly, that's my perspective. If you believe the earth is flat and that makes your life better and that makes you a better human being, please go for it. Just like I'm going to believe that the world loves each other, that the earth is infinitely powerful and can recreate all of the ugliness and all of the distortion. I just want to believe that we as a human population could actually figure out how to get along and share the resources here. It doesn't matter if the earth is flat. We still have to learn how to share, right? So, oh, there you go. But you guys, thank you so much, because there, and this is like the full moon energy, is this kind of energy is new for me, and it like makes me shaky and kind of scared, but I'm like, no, I'm allowed to say what I want, and I'm allowed to be free, and you can think what you think and I can think what I think, but if your saying or energy is feeling all like then fuck you with love, but seriously. So yeah, there, and this has been an energy that's come up a few times where I'm just like, if you're just trying to power over me and tell me what I need to think and how I need to feel or what I need to fix, like, Because I'm not here to try to fix you guys. Like, I'm just here being like, I believe in you. I believe in your dreams. I believe that you can make them happen. And I don't believe that anyone can do them for you. I believe that they're inside of you. And that when you tune into them and you love the shit out of yourself, that eventually, slowly but surely, you'll see differences in your life. But no one and no thing can tell you what that is or what that looks like. It's all in you. And that's kind of the quest here, is that I have spent my life giving power to the world outside of me and finally realizing it ain't there and it never gonna be. And as long as we're still buying into these bullshit fucking illusions about so and so has the exact right format here for all of this, or yeah, this person is going to write the da 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 da, and we need to just focus on our leadership. They're going to make the changes for us. No, they're not. We as a people just want to wake up and shine our light and be like, yo, what are we doing? And you know what? We can sleep in our cars if we need to. Been there. We can go get a tent and sleep on a fucking field. Been there. There are ways to survive in this world. You can also rely on the generosity of other, but be mindful when you're vulnerable, when you're a little bit maybe down and out. Be mindful. People can take advantage of that. And I say that from experience. And I say that with as much love for those people who manipulated me and used me as the people who lifted me up. Same, same, same. My abusers are actually just as upheld as the ones who shone light for me, because they're equally responsible for showing me more of who I am, and it's all contained in the unity of love. Authority is an illusion for sure. And there again, I would say it's like an illusion of old paradigm, isn't it? So old paradigm would have us like have the authority, but that's not true or real at all. It's an illusion. I love you guys. Pretty much, Sherry. That's like how I'm vibing. Here, Elf. I do feel that. I'm sure. Again, I saw. Oh God, some post about the color, and I think you might have been wearing almost like a Technicolor coat, and it was just, I don't know. I just feel it. I just feel the heart love, and like I'm inspired so much by this community. And I talk about this in the book, you guys, about like how shitty it is and annoying and uncomfortable and super duper painful it is to integrate our darkness, to look at all of our shitty shadows and be like, oh fuck, I'll have to deal with that as well. And like, oh, I'm such a loser and blah 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 blah. And we can have all the shame and the guilt. We can feel down on ourselves, and it's gonna be relentless, and we're gonna feel stuff, and it's gonna have to keep going. But at the same time, I do love that, is that we get to own our positive manifestations. So guys, I get to own this manifestation of all this love here and all of this internet friends, people showing up after like 7 long years of YouTube dedication in my own heart sharing and a little bit of like, oh God, what am I doing? Is this even? And then finally, hello people. Yes, a rainbow jacket. I knew, and that's you. I'm making the connections. I enjoy all of you so much. Like straight, it's like heart, love, vibration, gush, goo goo everywhere. Oh, Sherry. Oh, girl. I've got a friend who's going through some heartbreak, and that was me like for 6 months last year or more. And actually, I had it like back to back to back. Somebody who did someone like beyond womanizer vibes, that I, being the naive good girl that I am, I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Dissolved my whole life, like made moves to like go meet this person. Da, da, da. They dumped me like 2 weeks before I was going to meet them, and then they also. Oh, and then I found out via the like, the groups of people who gossip. I found out from some of them that he was actually messaging like loads of other girls at the same time. Same thing that I was saying, but because they were all in the clique, they all knew about this guy. I didn't, but they knew that he was messaging me. I was the one that fell for it. So yay me. And then I fell for it again when somebody wanted to work with me professionally and did, and then I guess made me think that there might have been a romantic piece, but clearly it was all professional. But then of course I fell for him and dedicated my life to him. And then when it started to get all weird and messy, and I was like, I don't think you're actually like into me. Yeah, it weren't that at all. And then, oh, look, I'm just confessing all of my like insane oh, I've had a couple stalkers, which you guys know about. And then yeah, and then also been like had incredible these like crazy awesome like high vibrational love at first sight like man of my dreams, and then shattering just like, and these were connections I actually felt were integrated, that were real, and then people just like, it's like they just ran away from me. So yes, Sherry, I too am coming back to self very, very mindfully. And really, and honest, sorry guys, but I'm keeping just my male interactions a little bit kind of just, I, one, either just truly professional, solely friendship, and or like really, really at a distance as far as like my interactions on that level, because I'm realizing the veils I've been lifting have been really quite insidious as far as like, it's like my programming, my physical programming is literally just like to drop everything and like commit my life force to him. And I, because I've seen that acting out a couple times, I'm like, oh my God. Like instead of me having worth in this world, which again, historically, like women weren't able to make money, right? So I'm like, we had to like dedicate our life force to the men in our lives in order to survive. So I'm like, it makes sense, the programming, but I'm fucking tired of it, obviously. I gotta say though, oh, see, women, all of us like relating, we've been through it. And I gotta say, this isn't gender specific. This can be girl, boy, us dealing with narcissistic abuse. Oh, OMG. That's, I think, part of the piece was that, I don't know if you guys saw on YouTube, there's some big ol' I'm talking like millions. These people have millions of subscribers on the YouTube, and they're big time beauty guru types. And apparently in the last few days, there's been like this huge uprising around a very massive beauty guru YouTuber. And but what I caught was just this snippet of the female she was sort of talking about, and she said like, "Oh, I mentored this kid," and blah 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 blah. And as I was listening to her, I was like, "Oh, it's nice to hear like just genuine, like I don't know." She seems pretty legit, and weirdly, what she's talking about when it comes to this behavior is narcissism, and she's talking about a young white man who is sexualizing people, objectifying people, and behaving in super duper narcissistic ways. And she in this video just appears more like grounded and just like, at some point you kind of have to drop it when it's shitty behavior, right? I just saw Sherry about, I'm so sorry, Spirit Spectra. And yeah, aren't we all? Like, aren't we all sorry for attracting, like, and well, and creating these situations? But what I also can honor is that, like, the stuff that we go through around these kind of romantic and being, it's so good that we have one another. And this is what I can reflect is that there's always an aspect of collectivity in our consciousness, right? And so something that I work with and noodle with, especially I talk about this in the Fearless Life Guide, is that when we're processing these programs or bringing these rather limited and uncomfortable and low level programming, i.e., all the drama around relationships, all the bullshit, all the codependency, all the lies, is that it's not like we have to sit there and blame ourselves for attracting dickheads into our lives. If anything, we can blame the media. No. It's unconscious. It's our ancestry, it's our lineage, and it's our media programming. So when those of us in a community like this are consciously transforming insidious, painful programs around love and romance and relationship, that's our service to the world. So, like Spirit or someone like me over here in the UK, us going through this as conscious women is actually helping other women not have to deal with that, not have to face that. So each generation, each human owning their shit is helping so much, like so much more than what we can actually see, right? Right. This is the thing, Sherry D. And I think this is what so much more of us are actually really, really, really starting to own is like, I gotta own all of it. And I'm included in that, and I've found the last few weeks a lot of compassion because of, like, the it's so like, this last little wave of programming around survival and sex and stuff has been so, like, like, "Ew, ew, icky, icky," like, "I can't believe I would do that. How did I do that?" That it's the compassion for me, as in, like, I'm allowed to, like, love and have compassion for even my own actions because it's like on some level we're not to blame. We can be responsible in the healing now, but we don't have to like be like, "Oh my god, I'm so god awful," because we're in this together, right? That's a big piece of it. Mary, I feel you. I'm definitely still healing because stuff is still coming through a lot. I still have these weird fantasy expectations running. I shared it with Katie when she was at the weekend. I'm like, so is it just me, or do you ever have this like some fantasy expectation of some person anyway, usually that you love or have fantasy love toward, like making some loving declaration? Like, do you ever have that fantasy? And she was like, yeah, like all the time. I'm like, ugh, it's so annoying. It's so, again, Walt Disney programming of like, waiting for some knight in shiny armor, and I'm like, that if anything, what I'm traversing is the fact that everybody's like confused, and like the people I fall in love with don't want anything to do with me, and then the people that I'm really not in so I'm like, yeah, I'm just moving through a bit of some weird energy for sure. Hey Johan, how are you, my friend? I fell off the WhatsApp wagon. I was sort of giving a bit too much, just being straight up. So I had to sort of not be doing the WhatsApp. Plus, there again, and Falcon, I don't link you into this, but I have had some non desired attention via very many all levels of media contact, which is why I've taken my phone number off of Facebook. Thanks, Facebook, for putting it on there. I really don't even know how that happened. But anyway, um, yeah, taking the number off Facebook and had to kind of cool it a little bit. But I also, this is how I, for rizzles, manizzles, have I witnessed the danger of people pleasing. And I'm kind of kicking myself now, but at least I'm seeing it really clearly. Like there are energies in the world where it ain't wise to be nice because any level of kindness and like niceness actually leads people down this weird fantasy trail that you may or may not be with that at all, but they've taken your niceness as like a breadcrumb, and that once they're in that niceness, it's like, yeah, it's Sherry. And this is the thing of the empath as well. You're so right. And this is where I've come back full circle about like, I need to be nice to myself. And if I don't want somebody around me, that's me being nice to myself and honoring that. And like someone else's like psychological distortion isn't my responsibility, especially when I know full well I can't help them. When you can't help somebody, it's like you have to just shine light, be love, but step away and potentially involve the correct people that can help somebody when they're exhibiting certain tendencies which are so far away from you that you don't even fucking comprehend or understand, like, what the fuck, how can somebody think that way, right? Yeah, straight up, Falcon, like, genuine kindness is like the oneness of self, right? Niceness is programming, and it's dualistic programming because it could usually, those of us with people pleasing tendencies try are like, we have the self image of being a good person. We're just like a good person, which is why we're nice to everybody, even people who abuse us and use us and treat us really badly, but we're nice. I'm a good person. And I have that with even people in the spiritual communities. When I went to all their events and when I kind of people pleased them and did stuff, they subscribed and they supported everything I did. But the moment I was like, actually, I'm just going to do my own thing, um, and they're like, what? You don't want to do what I want you to do? And you're like, no, I think I'm good just doing my own thing here. And then it's like, oh, they unsubscribe. They don't want to follow you. Thing is, they don't even want to support you. And that's what I find interesting. I'm like, so I have to just invest my entire life force to do whatever you want me to do, but when I wanna do what I wanna do, you want nothing to do with me, and you just wanna cut me off of your circle. Like, I had people messaging me, going out of their way to be like, you're bothering me, so I'm gonna unsubscribe." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, so everyone gets to win in this situation where I'm doing what's right for me, but you want me to do what's right for you. But that's, again, this is why we understand each other, is that those of us who are empathic, this is kind of the shits that we're in. We've been living most of our lives overcompensating for people's denial, feeling all this crazy intense shit, not knowing what to do with it, but just trying to be fucking nice all the time. Like, thank God we're rising out of that. Wow, that's so 3D, right? I'm just getting that. Cool. Unsubscribe, dickhead. Like, I don't care. I know. But I mean, honestly, who needs it when it's bullshit? Like, who needs the conditional love vibration, right? Like, and this is something I remember even early days before I published the book. I was like, it's like no love gets lost behind. Like, you can hate on me, unsubscribe, I'll still love you. I might call you a dickhead when I'm in my rage, but the truth of my heart is like, I for real practice just love and compassion for this whole entire fucking world. And forgiveness. Like, oh, can I just look at all of the craziness and be like, okay, I forgive you. Yeah. It's deep. Why do I want to forgive the world? Because I want to be let off the hook as well. I know, and because suffering is suffering and pain is pain. It doesn't matter the scale or the depth. It is there. So I might as well just let everybody off the hook, but forgive myself, because myself and my ancestors probably also behaved pretty dickish. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, guys. I Oh God, sometimes the language. I'm like, don't worry, guys. I actually love. And they're like, no, 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 shh, we're not gonna say that there. um, this is often where I'm like, okay, maybe I should just stop talking because but where I wanted to, I wasn't respected and forgot to honor and respect myself. We need to see our own sacredness, take what you like and leave the rest, pretty much. And that's the thing as well, is that we're beginning to really see is that we're ramping up the love vibration so much that, like, there are people in our world that maybe just can't quite match, i.e., they're still harboring some density or harboring some unworthiness. And all we can do is just keep moving, especially when you really start to feel the love flow is guiding you, or supporting and guided. So your body is feeling more and more supported in the lightness, and your heart is feeling more and more open to receive the guidance that's going to keep coming, because we're in it. Like, you guys surround me in my field, i.e., like, you surround me here, you surround me on Instagram, um, and vibrationally. Oftentimes, I tune in telepathically to some of you guys. Um, some of you I'm working with, some of you, it's pure vibration across the niche. So yeah, all of you, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Um, Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful sleep, have a great day. Reach out. Feel free to email. I feel the email might be a better way to stay in touch, right? Oh, clear. Right. I know. How is it? And like, it's become so much more obvious, but I feel a bit like, oh God, how did I fall for this before? How was I treated so bad? How did I let myself? Anyway, yeah, we don't owe them anything, right? Like, if I'm being fully responsible for my joy and my health and my protection, so is everybody else. Done. Okay, you're not responsible for me being in a super duper mood. That's my responsibility. And guess what? I'm in this place where I can embrace myself even when I'm in the shits. I like to embrace myself even some days when I want to die a little. I know, and it's not like I'm trying to, like, brush over the depth and pain of things like suicide, but I'm also wanting to address that a lot of us are in that kind of energy. A lot of us plummet into depths where we do want to die and we don't want to be here. And I think it's better of us just to not to deny it. Like, hi guys, I'm MJ and I practice meditation, so I'm just happy all day, every day. So you should listen to me and buy my products. Except no, there are some days I'm up and some days I'm down, and that's the legit truth. And I don't think meditation or relaxation or any pill or any drug or any guru is going to stop us from having ebbs and flows, because it would appear that that is the nature of energy. Ebbs and flows and spirals, ebbs and flows and spirals. That is all. So we're going to keep going up and down. Life is going to have pain. And if we deny the pain, we perpetuate the pain. So we're just people who are like, oh my God, does anyone feel the pain? Ah! You're like, oh my God, me too. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God I'm not the only one who's just going fucking insane over here. You're like, but trying to make it seem like everything's fine. Oh, L2. L2, PH8. I love that. Nice expression. If you've never wanted to die, you've never tried to live. That feels good. That feels like freedom to me, my friend. Hey, Roots. OMG. Yeah, I just basically like love you all. Like hardcore. And I pretty much am looking forward to like sitting around a campfire with you guys holding hands and singing Kumbaya. Maybe being high on mushrooms or something like that as well. What? Smoking doobies, I'm playing guitar and having a good time. And just remembering that, like, yeah, we are love, and like all the past is now fini. We have closed the karmic cycle for ourselves, for all of humanity. So now let's, keep walking on the earth and be in the love that we are. Mm. I love you guys. I am bowing out now, but I just have so much, like, I get all giddy. I get all giddy at how much love I feel, and I know I can't wait either. Oh, and then I could actually say come to Morocco. We could do that. Clear vibrations and I right there. Clear retreats. We're gonna do Morocco. Morocco, we've got some date in October 8th, and then we've got another one maybe Feb, and then Kauai, and Clear is really leading that one in Kauai, as in you're taking the reins, because that's her side of the world. Morocco is my side of the world, and it will be just holding space, doing yoga, and sharing the love heart and the clarity, of course. And yeah, Morocco will be. I don't know where I was going with that, but basically it's going to be epic. Oh, by the way, as well, Clear. I've already started getting people who want to book on to Kauai. So what? Do. I'm thinking of a horrible and very rude song from um South Park, which I'm not going to sing aloud. So I know, Kauai, like legit. Let's keep our ears and eyes peeled. We're gonna have dates and stuff in due course, but this, we're chilling. Yes, October. See, and I know this. I actually need to not promote this stuff until my June retreat is, because I had somebody inquire about June, and then I mentioned October, and they're like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll just wait until no." Um, there you can tell I have no strategy or tactic when it comes to sales. I'm just like myself and hope for the best. uh, yeah, I know. It's like Bali, Indonesia. Like I felt guided to Bali. Well, I was guided to Bali, and then Hawaii, I feel, has a similar energetic uh, healing vortex, I want to say, in Hawaii, in the islands, or maybe island culture. There's a essence to that. And so we will be guided to the land. The vortexual energy of the land will be super healing. Um, but then for a lot of us, especially in communities like this, if we're guided to certain pockets of land, it would be like we have specific constellation energy that we need to shift together. So we do that together, and that's what like our all of our life is really that, is that every configuration helps us clear and shift and move. Oh, it's incredibly powerful and quiet. It's Lemuria. Oh, that could almost give me chills. It's Lemuria. That makes me think then I probably have a few friends over here that like basically need to come. That's not even me trying to be like a hard saleswoman. That's just basically like my intuition knowing that I've got clients and friends who are absolutely, and I don't, this isn't from me. I know nothing about Lemuria, but other people in my circle, they're like, they'll get chills or have flashback memory and stuff like that uh, of Lemuria. And I was like, wow, I have no resonance connection with that. Those are super common now. um, yeah, well, elle deux, message me. We can figure out yes, that's a period, paragliding. Um, if it's a price thing, just let me know and we can make it happen, basically. I just need people, so I'm happy to be giving discounts. I've already brought the price right down. I'm all about the Maria Atlantis. So I have a memory, like a cosmic memory of like, I don't think I came to the realm and I randomly was like in the ethereal watching Atlantis fall. So I felt very much, I think, called during the fall of Atlantis. Beyond that, I don't know much about Lemuria, and there's time stamps and sequences of the Earth's timeline, but not in what I'm connected to. So my call was very much about the transformation of the Atlantean fire, right? Transformation of the enslavement construct on this planet, which has to do with where the planet is in the galaxy. It's an infinity loop. It keeps going round and round, hence why Earth is considered a generation station, because this is where souls are born. It's where souls are made, and this is where souls are tested as well. So it's an epic, epic, epic place to be. And the duality piece, because a lot of us where we're from is like light realm. It's not, there is not as much contrast in duality. Ah, Andrea, fantastic. So there may be a connection, and then if any of you guys are more connected to Lemuria, then you might, i.e., what Clear is saying, like we have shamans, and then we have the Earth herself, which is going to guide us to whatever the Lemurian connection is for us, right? So if that's a connect, I'd probably say, Clear, let's get those dates set and let people start planning to make the booking, because I think this might be a pretty monumental one, and I feel like I don't know how many people, maybe 12 or 20, I forget, 16? I don't but we've got there's a good chunk of us that can congregate and come together to both Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, and I have again a funny interpretation. I feel like a lot of people sometimes glamorize Atlantis or these times as these like high vibrational times, and I don't intuit it that way necessarily. There's still goodness in those times, but they're not necessarily constructed as a golden age. There's still an enslavement imprint in those realities in my awareness. Hmm. Time jumper. That really resonates, Alda. Andrea, closer to us right now. Woo! 30. Oh, thanks, Clear. So yeah, so Clear's on it, you guys. We're gonna and did you not, Clear, pull a card about us being guided to work together? And it was just like it was all like triumphant and victory, and you're being guided, and it's all en fleur. So I feel really good about this, and I'm excited to share it with you and all that. Oh, Elf. Yeah, I watched it fall and I still cry. It still hurts. There is pain and attachment to it. So, in transforming that pain, even from those times, is a big piece of transformation in the here now and up leveling. There is a lot of people attached to Atlantis, but actually, there's an enslavement piece there. And the veil is actually part of healing, removing the veil of the perception that these times of our past, our collective past, were golden or perfect. I was able to connect now for this reason. Perfect. Oh, so good, right? So that and often this is where I'm seeing a lot of our generation waking up to basically having veils around like my perfect so and so or my perfect upbringing, my perfect family, and then like they're peeling back a veil and seeing abuse or seeing different things, right? Which is similar to our broader collective energetic resonance field, is that what we're healing are any of our past projections that would say that the glory days were there. The glory days were in Atlantis, or the glory days were in the 60s. So we have to actually integrate the glory of our creation, but also in integrating the glory, we have to look at the shadow aspect. There is still a draconian enslavement system embedded in the Atlantis civilization. Hi, Banu. How are you, my friend? Huge part of the purging I'm going through now. Boom. Okay. Okay. This is good. So, this is actually us connecting portals of creation and to unify them here now. Hence, why it wouldn't surprise me that we actually create a event horizon in Kauai by June next year. So, we have a full year to keep integrating the energies and step onto the new Earth grid in June 2020, because 2020 is the astrology in essence of the paradigm shift. So if we can be anchored in our newer realities and support each other in our growth, then, well, we'll continue to just enjoy life a bit more. That's all. Yeah, the grass is greener feeling again, because it takes us out of the present here now moment, because here now is the perfection, right? Perfect is present tense for loved past tense. Big John. Hi, John. Big John. Hi, John. So yeah, okay. I think there you go. I love these chats. Thank you for being here, you guys. Oh, gracious love. Oh, enjoying life more and more. Be here now. So yeah, we get it, don't you? We can blah 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 blah, but it's still here now. You know, we're here. We're here in really the glory of our own presence. And the totality of our power as creators, because let's be honest, there's some shady shit that ain't too pretty, and then there's the beautiful, exhilarating, ecstatic bliss life that all of us truly do desire, but we have to keep allowing ourselves to ebb and flow into those energies, which we're getting there. This has been the slowest spring shift energy I've ever felt. So yeah, I know. Okay, loved the encore. Off I go. Bye, 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 you guys. I love you so much, and I'm just so grateful for you. Have a beauty day and a wonderful sleep. High five. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. Yeah, I have so much love for you. Great. Have a good one. Speak soon, guys. Bye.